All right.
Hi,
Looking forward to
Benny.
it.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. It's great to talk to you after such a long time. I think, first of all,
Yeah,
let me say
it's been
this
quite a
is
while.
Benny the Irish Polyglot, famous globetrotter, linguist, as I call it, polyglot, and general cheerleader for language learning around the world, who has touched many, many people with his enthusiasm.
Languages.
That's right. So it's a pleasure to talk to you. And what I want to talk to you about today is the upcoming Polyglot Conference in Montreal. I have never been to one of these. I called it the Language Festival, Festival des Langues. I have no idea what to expect. Maybe you could talk about your experience and what people who haven't yet signed, first of all, those who have signed up, what they can expect there, and why other people should hurry up and register.
Yeah, definitely. So far, I have been at the Polyglot gatherings, which are usually in Berlin,
Right?
and the Polyglot conference, which has moved locations several times. And each time, it has been a fantastic experience. So the first thing I should say is this is not a polyglot exclusive club. So if somebody does not speak four languages, five languages, or more, then they don't have to think, okay, I'm not good enough to attend, because there's a lot of people who go who are aspiring language learners.
Right.
And they go to meet people that they know on YouTube and to get to know them in person. And so at these events, you have people giving presentations, and these are people that you might recognize from YouTube, from podcasts, from blogs. So familiar faces talking about a topic that they're passionate about. And then between those talks, you have other things, like you might have a picnic, or you might have a game show that you can take part in, or you might be able to join people to watch a foreign language movie. But best of all, you just get to talk to people and get to know them better. So for me, these events have been an opportunity to get to know the language learning community face to face.
I mean, it is extraordinary, this language learning community. Like, I have never met you. I've never actually shaken your hand, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're very much aware of each other, as we are of other people on the internet who talk about language learning. But I sometimes get concerned that we are this little ghetto of people. And they're not just a handful. There might be, but even if it's 100, what's 100? Language keeners compared to the literally hundreds of millions of people who at some level want to learn another language, and yet for a variety of reasons hang back, feel uncertain, lack confidence, and stuff like that. So for these people, what can they get? Like as you say, the non-polyglot, or maybe someone who's been, forever trying to learn Spanish. What do they get? What do they come away with from one of these conferences?
So the first thing they come away with is the actual talks that take place,
Right.
because the talks themselves are about the process of learning languages, or sometimes specific languages. Like someone might have a passion for Welsh or Scottish or something, and they might find a talk about that.
Right.
It's a learning. It's like that opportunity to learn about those things, but also they will meet others like them. So it's
Right.
not just about meeting polyglots they may follow online, like yourself and many other polyglots. It's also a chance to meet other people who are in the same situation as them.
Right.
And I think there is, like you said, let's say there's maybe 100 people that have a sizable amount of followers who are making videos in multiple languages. There's also many thousands of people who just might have that interest, but they're not really going to be uploading YouTube videos.
Right.
But rather than them needing to aspire to those other people, they can get a lot of inspiration from others like themselves who have that special interest. And I know you've had your own meetups whenever you go in
Right.
travel to cities,
Yeah.
and it's great for those people to get to meet you. But I'm sure you've seen that you have acted as this catalyst where they get to talk to each other and they get to exchange ideas. And it's like that on a very large scale.
Right. Right. And to be honest, the meetups that I have, they again tend to attract language keeners, not necessarily people who put up videos of themselves, but people who speak 3, 4, 5 languages. I think part of our mission, we feel, is to get the monolingual, unilingual person to take the jump, because it is such a wonderful thing to be able to speak other languages, to connect with other people. And I think I agree with you that, there's something about this world where we're connected. It's that warmth of other people trying to do the same thing as you, and it just generates that level of enthusiasm and energy that a person needs to take on a language, because it's a long haul. Like, it's not like it's a long haul, and so you meet people that maybe will become friends of yours going forward, and they will keep you motivated and energized and be an inspiration. So, plus you might pick up some tips. Tips
definitely.
that work for you. Not
and
every
on
tip
top
works
of that,
for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and on top of that, they do get the chance to meet people who they do like to follow online face to face. So at the events that I've been at already, one thing I found very interesting is, we have our presentation of ourselves that we have online.
Right.
I have my videos that I make that put a lot of effort into, and I try to make them exciting and fun and so on. And there's that kind of Benny the Irish polyglot persona.
Right.
But I'm also just a normal guy.
You're normal?
We're all human beings.
Right.
We all just like to hang out with people and talk about whatever.
Right.
And I felt that a lot of those events have been a chance for me to make real friends with people.
Right.
Once they see that I'm just like they are, and I just want to hang out. I just want to talk about stuff, And I think that also helps them to see, rather than thinking, oh my God, they're so talented and so smart, that I like being brought down to their level, and being understood that we're all the same.
Well,
we
it
all
is
kind
amazing
of the same.
how much hard work will do for you, And it's easy enough to say, well, he's talented. I could never do that, but in fact you can. Benny, I'll just change the tack a little bit. You've been very successful. I've followed your career. You've been successful because of your enthusiasm, your energy, your imagination, and so you have, you had your website or your blog, and then you had your book. I don't know if you're willing to talk about some of the other things that you have planned. If so, go ahead and tell us. I think a lot of people would be interested to hear.
Yeah, so in all of my travels, there's 2 tools that I say I would come back to use a lot, which would be the Teach Yourself courses and also Italki. I talk about Italki a lot as a tool for me to find teachers. So an amazing opportunity came up, and it has been one reason you'll see very few videos that I've uploaded over the last year or so, is because I have been extraordinarily busy making new language courses with Teach Yourself. So it's the same publisher who owns the rights to Michelle Thomas. It's the same publisher who published Charles Darwin's Theory of Evolution. So this is a very established name in teaching people. And what I felt was I've never made a course before, because I like encouraging people. And I didn't feel I would know anything about making courses, because that requires an understanding of the academic stuff involved and how questions and answers and all that stuff works that others would have decades of experience in that I don't have. So for me, when they invited me to do this, it meant it was a chance to collaborate. So I could take all of that know-how that Teach Yourself has in making excellent courses and then sprinkle a little bit of my encouragement on it and just kind of give it that extra little burst of personality and the kind of stuff I focus on, because I generally like helping people, as you said, monolinguals. So it's for absolute beginners, and those are going to be coming out in September. And we're
how many languages, if I may ask?
So yeah, we're starting with 4. We're starting with Spanish, French, German, and Italian. So the 4 big languages, and I have a strategy with this. Essentially, from already doing a book and seeing how the marketing works and the interest works and how bookstores work, I wanted to start with these big languages to show to bookstores that they're profitable, that they can sell these books and people will buy them. And then after that, when the series is established, I'm going to be able to start titles for languages that have been neglected in language learning courses. So I'm going to be able to make an Irish language learning course that can go around the world. I can work with translators to make these courses work well for immigrant communities. So we can translate the German course to Kurdish and make it dialect friendly for Arabic for the Syrian immigrants in Germany, for instance. And these are all the things that I'm really looking forward to doing once we've established the course with the bigger languages.
Right.
So I'm really excited about this. And
Exciting.
it's been keeping me very, very busy, because you can imagine it's writing 4 books in a year. It's not something you do part-time.
Now, when you say you're collaborating, so you're working with the people who normally design the Teach Yourself books. And
That's
you're
right.
working with them to modify it, to bring it more in line with the way you think people should learn, or no?
Well, not necessarily modified. Essentially, I've created the course from scratch.
Right.
I made my own course, but I worked with them
Right.
the entire time
Right.
to make sure. So, like, I might not know how, I don't know, how to make a table to present the information to people.
Right.
And then they would come in and help me kind of tweak it in the right direction. And then the whole presentation and the layout and the unit structure, that you have a different unit teaching a different topic. Mm-hmm. So they kind of guided it, and I got to have a lot of my own voice and inspiration into the pages. So I really feel like it's not just me editing an already present Teach Yourself book. It's a brand new course.
All right. And now you also mentioned Italki. Is there some element of Italki in there?
Yes. So we have a partnership with Italki, where essentially what makes this course unique is I was thinking of it as a precursor to the other Teach Yourself courses, like Teach Yourself Complete. It's a good course to get yourself to an intermediate level. And like I said, we do different things to try to inspire new language learners. And my focus happens to be to get people to speak, if that's what they're interested in,
Right.
you know? And I would always, and just so you know, I genuinely, and this is honestly, if someone says, Benny, I'm not really that interested in speaking, I want to learn how to read a language, I always say, okay, you should check out this guy, Steve Kaufmann. He's got loads of great advice for you. Because when people have that interest, that's what they need to focus on.
Right.
But if people have a spoken interest, then I designed this to be around that. So at the end of each unit, we get them to go online and actually use their language. So this isn't a theoretical thing that at the end of the course, maybe they can use a little bit. During the course itself, they go and they use it, and they come back and continue and go and use it. And we do that in conjunction with teachers, with Italki.
I think that's a very good plan. It's an example of how the internet opens up so many more opportunities, because, I mean, to be perfectly honest, I have used Teach Yourself to get started on a number of languages. I have used Italki when we didn't have, tutors at LingQ, for example, for Polish. And so, and the idea that a person has bought this Teach Yourself and is Chapter 5, and now they actually have to go and use it so they can connect with someone to use it. I think that's a very good use of the internet, and certainly both those resources I found very, very good. So I'm sure it'll be successful. I will look forward to that. Just to update you briefly at LingQ, where, just by the way, we also encourage people to speak, although. And we'll get into this in Montreal, but at any rate, we don't necessarily, rightly or wrongly, necessarily push them to speak right away, although the opportunity is there. We are working on a beta version right now, which I am using, which, at least for me, it seems a significant improvement over what we now have, in particular the mobile app. So at some point, if you're going to take on a new language, you might want to give it a try. But we can talk about all of that when I'm in Montreal. But I think what you've outlined there, tying because very often language learning is a lonely activity, very often. And so someone who's bought the Teach Yourself book is at home trying to learn this lesson, and it's very easy for the enthusiasm to flag. So if you have, Benny, not necessarily cracking the whip, but inspiring you, and at the same time encouraging you to connect through Italki to a native speaker. I think that's an excellent plan, and I think you'll be very successful.
Yeah.
And I look forward to seeing that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I think we've briefly covered what you've been up to. So far as I'm concerned, the fact that a beta will be available hopefully before Montreal, but we'll see. But most of all, I think we want people. I guess most of all, big picture, we want people to learn languages. Recently with the Brexit, and so people are saying, is this going to affect the role of English in the world? And to me, and then other people say, well, English is, we should all speak Esperanto because English is, Anglo-Saxon imperialism. None of that really matters. I think it is becoming easier and easier to learn languages. An example is our discussion, the way you're working with Teach Yourself. They found out about you through the internet. You connect together for them, Italki, with what they're doing, with what Benny has been doing on, his blog post. So this is the new world. So people can learn languages a lot more easily than 50 years ago, which is before your time, when I was learning Mandarin Chinese. So the message is it's easier than ever to learn languages, and all you really need is the inspiration and the motivation. And that you can get big time by coming to the Montreal, and I call it the Language Festival. Because someone in the office was saying most English speakers don't know the meaning of the word symposium, and they don't know the meaning of the word polyglot. So we have the North American Polyglot Symposium. It's a language festival. Festival des langues for our French-speaking friends.
That.
And maybe give a final roasting challenge to people to come out and broaden their horizons.
Yeah, definitely. And if anyone wants to find out more about it, they should go to napolyglot.com, and they'll see a list of the talks that you and I and everyone else is going to be giving, and they'll get a taste of what's going to go on that weekend. And they can, of course, sign up. And it would be great to see them. And if they see me, they should come say hi. And if they see you, they should come say hi.
Absolutely. And if they find us at a bar with about 4 or 5 empty beer glasses there, they should leave us alone.
I might be on the orange juice myself in the bar, but
you don't
would
drink
definitely.
Guinness? You don't drink?
I actually don't drink. This is I challenge the Irish stereotypes.
Are you Irish?
Yeah, people have always said, "Oh, have they denied you your Irish passport because of that?" And I'm like, har har har.
Yeah. Okay. All stereotypes aside, looking forward to seeing you, and thank you for the discussion.
All right. Thanks for having me, Steve, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.